Alright, y'all. What I'm doing is making a like a I guess you call it Creole style shrimp and grits. I guess what I got here is a bag of crawfish here. So what I've done right here is how you make a stock. You just basically warm up some water, and you can do this with crab shells or with shrimp shells, whatever your scraps. You can also do it with leftover pieces of fish, and that'll be a fish stock. But you split right here on this is crawfish. You split it right there, and then what I do is this part right here has a lot of flavor, and you'll see guys from the south squeeze this and suck it, and it's got a lot of juices where the brain is at. But I'll take that and I'll boil it, and then I'll split them, and I'll take this half here, put it in a little bowl. That's the meat. I'm gonna add that to the grits later, but I'll take these shells as I split them and put them in there. Try to find me a way where I can. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Right here, I'm gonna do another one just so y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm taking it right here. I'm gonna split it right there. All right. Now this part I'm gonna sit down here for right now. Me personally, I take the juices and squeeze it a little bit. Then I'm gonna let that sit in my stock. Now this piece here, I'm gonna split. Oops, let me do that. Split them. Split it open right here. Take that piece, put it right there, that right there. Same thing, I'm gonna show it again. I'm squeezing to cause a crack right here. When I cause that crack, it makes it easy to peel back open. If you try to peel right now, you'd be fighting it and tear your meat up. So I just squeeze. And the only reason I'm doing over top of here is just in case any of them extra juices or anything try to spill, they catch in my stock. Because I'm going to go back and strain it anyway. So it really don't matter what pieces get in there. Because I just want the juice out of it anyway. And that's how you make your flavored juices. So when you see people, you use that for anything. You see strong flavored seafood dishes, you know, soups and sauces and things. That's because they're using a stock instead of water, just plain water. Stock doesn't taste like much when you try to taste it by itself, but it makes a tremendous difference when you go back. So, yeah, hungry as I'm making this. And this, you know, this is the thing, you know, cooking is kind of like my passion. I don't work in a restaurant. I'm actually an electrician, but like I said, I enjoy cooking. So, you know, I was on my way home dropping the wife off at work. I just said, hey man, I got some crawfish. Let me see what I can do with that and see how it tastes. And some shrimp, you know, grits. So instead of doing shrimp and grits, I do a crawfish and grits. And I'll just call this, you know, some Creole grits or something. And the key is when you're done with this, you're gonna season it just like you would do anything else. And you want to take all of that right there and pull off. Take all of this, so you got just that. Get a little shell in there. I'm gonna pause it for right now. All right, now I got my all my shells in. I got my little meat over here. I'm gonna just let this simmer for a little bit. You see, it's kind of changing colors if you look at it. I don't know if you can see that very well, but you see it change colors. It's kind of like orange. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes and suck up all them juices. right here. And then they kind of turn a little different color too. They go from that bright red to that orange color. They're getting cooked even harder. So like I say, you don't want, this is all just shells and scrap. Normally you would throw this stuff away, but in high-end restaurants, you're gonna keep this stuff because that's getting maximum profit out of your product or whatever you're making. And a lot of people don't notice, you know, it's still a lot of use for these things. Just letting this stuff soak, you know. So next time you think about, you know, you got a whole fish, cut the head off and the bones and all that stuff, save it. Your chicken bones, save them. You can boil them in some water. And then what you would do is, you know, you throw a little couple onions in there or something like that to give it some flavor, you know, some, they call it mirepoix. You know, give it a little flavor, and then you can let that go, you know, and that'll help make a big difference. Then I'm going to show you the trick to getting stuff creamy, because I'm going to make these grits creamy. I don't like hard grits. So I'm going to bring that, let that boil for a second, bring it up to a boil. I'll be right back. Alright, so as you see, it just came to a boil. I'm going to kill my heat. I lift it up sometimes, try to get it to slow down sometimes on cooking. So now I got another pot here. Now what I have to do is strain this all out. So I'm going to take this over here and pour the water. Be careful with this part so you don't burn yourself. But try to move it so you can see. This is what I got now. And see, you look, there's my water. Now it's stock actually. Alright. So what I may do is also saute a couple onions or something like that. Do a fine dice with them in this pot. Matter of fact, I think I am going to do that. Saute some onions over here. Then I'm going to start getting my water ready and bring this back to a boil so I can add my grits and get that going. So let me chop this up right quick. Alright, right here, got me a little leftover onion. That's all you need. You know, I don't need a whole lot. I'm gonna chop this up. I know some of my chef buddies up here gonna get on me about my knife skills, but hey, I'm trying to keep this little thing together. I didn't cut the onion exactly in the right direction initially when I saved it, so as long as you keep them digits out the way, you're alright. You want to get it kind of small, you know. Keep everything bite-sized, you know. Well, actually, it's even smaller than that. This we call, oh man, I forgot the word for it. My chef, school word. I know my chef buddy's gonna be like, man, you can't remember the word for that. But it's all good. So, this is what I got here. All right. Always, never drag this way because it tears up the blade of your knife. Always use the back of it. Then me personally, you can use margarine. I personally do not like margarine. My wife and I go at it all the time because I like to use the actual product itself, not the product that it's trying to replace. So what I'm gonna do is cut my heat back up. Cut a little bit of there's some butter. I like butter, but that's me. I'm gonna get that going. Try to for this is sauteing a little bit. Try to get my pan coated, you know, nicely. Now what I will do is me personally, I like salt, pepper, garlic as my backyard barbecue grill buddies do say. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I love pepper, garlic. I love cooking with garlic. I'm a heavy garlic cooker. Yeah, if you're not careful, we'll make the breath stink though, but I still like it anyway. A little bit of salt. Don't need a whole lot. Now, so now that I got my base, this is the trick. So when you cooking, let's say if you were doing I don't know, lasagna, macaroni and cheese, excuse me. Let's say you were doing macaroni, lobster mac and cheese. Or whatever meat. Now, whatever meat, that's called a protein. So, what you would do is like my grits, I'm going to season my grits according to the way I would season my protein. And that's the key. So, let's say if I was doing sausage, if I was adding sausage, I would season the grits the way I would season my sausage. If I'm adding shrimp, or if I'm adding crab meat or lobster to my macaroni and cheese, I'm going to season the macaroni and cheese as if I was normally would season the lobster and the shrimp. So now, with that being said, I'm going to take all this and I'm going to start, when I make these grits together, I'm going to season these as if I was seasoning seafood. So I'm going to use Old Bay. That's going to be one of my main seasonings there. Let me pause this and let you see what it look like right quick. It's my pepper got in my nose. You see, that's about done. When the onions start to turn clear, they're done. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna move over here. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm back. I'm gonna bring this one to a boil. I'm gonna bring this one to a boil. And there'll be a reason why I'm gonna do this. The reason why I want to do this, my wife always fusses about me using 1,000,000 pots, which I'm up to 3 pans now on a simple bowl of grits. So, excuse me wiping down a little bit. Try to keep the area clean somewhat. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my grits in here. But because I got all that flavor, see, look down there. Let me bring that to the light. Well, better yet, this light. See all that flavor down there, all them little pieces? You want to capture that. Because that's the same thing Grandma would do when she fried a steak in here or fried chicken in here and she made the gravy. She would take the chicken out, pour some of the gravy off, and she would all that and make the gravy in here. All those little pieces here would get into the gravy, and that's where your flavor would come from. So, sorry about me moving the camera so much. I'm trying to do this and cook at the same time. So I'm gonna get this hot. Try to get this all out the way. Let me pause this and I'm gonna come right back to it. I got this going. This is just some clam juice I have. I use this just for flavoring, you know. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that in there. And this is what I was talking about, why I wanted it kind of thick, because I'm gonna make this rather creamy. I need to add a little more heat back to here. Then also, like I said, bear with me because I'm holding this with one hand. The trick to making stuff creamy, mac and cheese, whatever, is this. Heavy cream. That is the key. So I'm going to just pour that right on in there. Now, the thing you got to watch out with this is you got to watch your heat. You can't add that straight to something piping hot. If you do, it's going to break and it will curdle on you. And that's where you get those, the mac and cheese that look like it's, got the little white dots all in it and stuff. That's because the milk curdled. And they added it straight to heat and they shouldn't have. You have to gradually, it's called tempering. But you have to gradually warm it up, if not, or overheat it. If you overheat it, then it'll do that too. But let's get my little mise en place together. As Chef Perkins, which was one of the, I always refer to him. He was one of my most challenging chef instructors I've ever had. Actually, one of the most challenging instructors I've ever had, period. While I was in college, be it chef or whatever else classes I took. But I refer to him a lot because he actually taught me a whole lot. And it's one of them things where you say, well, damn, you know, I can't wait till this class is over. I'll forget everything he said. And it's the exact opposite. I actually remember everything he said because he was right. So yeah, I'm going nationally public TV saying, or on YouTube World saying, Chef Perkins, yeah, you were right. So now what I'm gonna do is start shredding some cheese right here. Shred some cheese. Start seasoning. And this is where my Chef Burroughs, he was cool as a fan too. He would always say, make something to make it taste good. So you get the basics together. And this is what I'm telling y'all. I got the basics. So now I'm going to say, okay, well, how would I season this? Like I said, I have shrimp here. Crawfish here. So by me adding that, I know I need to season this as if I was seasoning that. If I was going to add crab in here, I'm going to season it as I'm seasoning the crabs. That's the trick to making things taste good. So I got Old Bay, I got cayenne pepper over here. Of course, you see me add the salt and pepper and all that. Then I'll taste it from time to time. Don't be afraid to taste it to see what it tastes like. Taste that stock. See what it tastes like. It's not going to taste like much. You say, well, what would I do to add to make that taste better? So, let me go ahead and get this cheese shredded so I can start the rest of it. All right, so now as you see, the grits have kind of started turning creamy. Now I can always go back and add more water to this or whatever. But now I'm going to start adding my cheese. So my cheese is right here. Try not to make a mess. Which I'm like my grandfather was. I don't think there's a such thing as not making a mess. I like a lot of cheese. Now, you can add whatever cheese you want. Heck, you know the spaghetti Parma cheese you put on spaghetti? That melts down just fine. So if that's something you want to try, you know, with Parmesan cheese, hey, have at it. You know, a lot of recipes will form by accident or by unintentional. Like, for example, the buffalo wings. Buffalo wings didn't become popular until a lady that was running a restaurant in Buffalo, New York. Her son came and had a bunch of friends, and all she had was like chicken wing tips left over. So she came up with a quick sauce and fried them real quick and served them to her son's buddies. Next thing you know, it took off like wildfire. You know, before they used to throw away chicken wings and stuff like that. Now that's one of the most expensive pieces you can buy on a piece of chicken is a wing. Lobster was like that too. Lobster was a product that up until the 1800s, man, they threw that away. That was like I would say, I ain't gonna say a peasant food, because historically, 98% of the food that we eat is peasant food compared to what the kings and stuff used to eat. But it was considered food for the poor. And you look at how times change now. You see how it's turning real creamy? I'm trying to hold this thing, but you can see it's turning creamy now. And that's the consistency I want. But if you taste this now, this already have a crawfish taste to it, or a seafood style taste. So next, keep my heat really low. Now I'm gonna start adding Old Bay. And the purpose of this is, like I said, to keep my seafood profile. Trying to do this with one hand. Need to give me one of them little hand cameras. Me, I'm a spicy cook, so I cook with a lot of cayenne pepper. Funny thing, ironic thing is that, you know, I met one of my brothers, for the first time a couple years ago. And one of the unique traits is that he was a chef too. Well, he went to culinary arts school too. So here it is, you know, most of the men in my family are chefs. I have an uncle named Alphonse. He's a chef, awesome chef up in Philly. He's been cooking for who knows how long. He's also in the cars like I am, and that's one of the reasons why I got into exotic cars and things like that. So kudos to him. My wife want to blame somebody that for why I'm in the car so much, blame him. But as you see, back to this, that's what we got now. We got a nice creamy texture. Now, if you didn't want that creamy, don't use the heavy cream, and it'll turn more into like grits almost. So now I'm going to add this. Add my shrimp. My crawfish, and I'll mix it in. You know, probably could have chopped it up. And I may go back and do that. So yeah, let me do that. All right, I'm back. What I did is I picked them out and then chopped them up a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and add that to that. Now I'm going to just go ahead and mix them in. So now I got little bite-sized niblets of crawfish in here. Now I could have taken this also and put it in a food processor. Probably most of your restaurants would do that. And then I'll show you how to plate this a little bit too. So I'm trying to use my hip to hold the handle. But this is just, you know, if you got some friends or family over, whatever, it's ultra cheap to do. Ultra easy, as you see. Don't be like me and make a mess and splatter it like all over the place. So then I'm going to show you how to plate this a little bit. This is also optional, so I'm going to pause it for a second. Take a little bit, put on a plate, show you how to do a little garnish. Give it some voila factor. Alright, what I did was just take a spoonful and spoon it on here. This is a real small amount. So just to show you for demonstration purposes how I would garnish. You can garnish either way. Take a little bit of cheese that you got left over. Now I want to shred it some more because I took all the cheese that I initially made and put it inside. So all I'm going to do is just take a couple pieces of cheese right here. Take a couple pieces of cheese and then I'll take like some parsley. Which I think let me pause for a second, see if I got some. As well, just take a little bit of parsley. And it's probably better that I put it on a little plate here. Now you can take some fresh parsley, and it'll be greener actually. It's just some leftover parsley I had sitting somewhere in the cabinet. You just sprinkle that right on top. Take that little piece. And if you have fresh, it'd be bright green. This is the one out of the can. So take a little more and just sprinkle over there. And there you go. So I get it clear up some. This is my version of something I just freestyled while I was driving down the street. And I call it Creole grits. All right, y'all, take it easy.